Hi, I'm Nina, and I've been battling epilepsy since I was 6. No one ever talks about epilepsy. Never. And I don't understand why. And for the longest time, I felt ashamed to have it. But it makes me who I am, actually. I'm tired of hiding. So I plan to make videos about my experiences, saying what I've been through, hoping that they will help someone else. 1 out of every 26 people develop epilepsy in their lifetime. That's 3 million alone in the United States, 65 million worldwide, and yet no one talks about it. So let's start from the beginning. When I was first diagnosed with epilepsy, my first seizure, I did not know I was having a seizure. I was wrestling with my cousin because I was a huge tomboy, and he had pinned me, and my arm felt like it was going to sleep. So I thought it was nothing, and my arm was dead. I couldn't move it at all. So I just joked it off, like he did something to me, just joking around. I didn't want people to think I was weak, so I didn't know how to take it. But after that, I was having them at night, and my sister just thought they were nightmares. The one that would change my life forever is when I was getting ice cream out of the fridge. And this was a few months after my mom and stepdad got married. I was getting ice cream, and I felt that weird tickling feeling in my arm again. And the next thing I knew, I yelled, and I hit the floor. My mom spun around and dialed 911 because she thought I was having a stroke. She didn't know what was going on, and neither did I. So the ambulance people came and took me to the hospital, and they said I had a seizure. We're like, okay, now what? So they sent us to doctors, and every time we went to a doctor, they would tell my mom I had a brain tumor. But she picked me up and leave because she didn't want to hear it. She didn't think I had a brain tumor. It turns out I really didn't. They didn't even do a test, and they told my mom I had a brain tumor. Eventually, we found doctors that helped us and did some tests, and they ended up sending us out to Cleveland Clinic, where I had to stay for a week to get more tests done to figure out why I was having these seizures. So I remember going through this week, and to a 6-year-old laying in bed for a whole week, it would drive you crazy. But I remember getting blood work done every day and just feeling like a lab rat. And I remember crying because I didn't want to be poked anymore. I didn't want any more tests done. I was tired. I remember my stepdad and my mom being by my bedside and helping me to get through this. And I remember I was gone on Easter because my grandmother and my aunts sent me a lollipop basket for Easter. I remember how I used to have to hit a button every time I went into a seizure. And every time I went into a seizure, they would come running in, say 3 off-the-wall words like ball, plane, blue. And I'd have to repeat them back to see if I lost my memory at all. I remember getting in a fight with the doctor, told her to leave me alone, and I didn't like her. But they really couldn't tell me why I was having them. They'd figure that out later. After getting home from Cleveland Clinic, everything changed. I wasn't allowed being a kid anymore. I was basically living in a bubble. I wasn't allowed climbing trees. I wasn't allowed near strobe lights. I wasn't allowed staying over friends' houses anymore because their parents didn't understand what epilepsy was. I actually had to repeat the first grade. Even though I was on homebound, they wanted me to repeat it. So the next year, I go to a new school, first grade again. I meet this girl. She was pretty awesome. She still is to this day. She became my best friend, and her mom actually let me stay over. A lot, actually. And she was my only friend in school, really. Because I felt like an outcast. I was ashamed to have epilepsy. I didn't want to be around people. So, going through school, I had probably one friend at the most. A couple I'd talk to and stuff, but I would never go to their houses. They'd never come in mine. It was very lonely being a kid with epilepsy. There's a lot of stuff I did not understand, but I understand now and why my mom did what she did. She was only trying to protect me. I remember going to haunted houses and having to close my eyes when the strobe lights were on, because if not, I would go into a seizure. I remember being scared to climb out of the tree the one time because I felt weird. And if I didn't climb down, like, what if I went into a seizure? So, every time my mom saw me in a tree, she'd yell at me to get down. My sisters became very overprotective of me, as well as my cousins. I remember getting bullied a lot as a child because of my disability. I remember this one girl that rode my bus. Her name was Heather. And I remember her looking at me, spitting on me, and telling me to die in a seizure. I remember my sister April going after her because she said that to me. My sister chased her down the street and told her to start getting rides to school and stuff like that. But I couldn't go through it without my family. They are what keep me strong. And I know how hard it is for a child to go through it, because I've been there. I've done it. And to anybody who's watching who is struggling with epilepsy, you can do it. I did it, and I got through it. Just keep your head up. Till next video.